Hello everyone, ExtremeTuber here. Today I'm going to be giving you a tour of an area known as Arc Corp. It's basically the ground hub right now for Star Citizen. It's essentially a test bed for planetside locations and whatnot. And if you'll notice, my character's a little bit weird looking right now. That is because this game is in very early alpha, and things like this haven't quite been worked out yet, and it'll definitely improve. Right now, we're in my hangar, which is known as the Selfland hangar. At one point, it was known as the budget hangar, discount hangar, I think discount hangar. And it's essentially the cheapest hangar there is. Right now, we currently go to ArcCorp from this elevator, or if I had other hangars, it would be somewhere else. So for now, I am going to go to ArcCorp and show you a few places, because although this game is actually a space simulator at its core, it has evolved much more than that at this current point, and we'll eventually be able to go directly from our hangars to the surface to the atmosphere and into space. But for now, we have this transitional period. So without further ado, let's go into the elevator and be blinded by the bloom. And let's get to ArcCorp. Uh, for those editing this video, I would appreciate it if you could essentially do a fade to black and then fade in the Arc Corp once it happens. Thank you very much. That could be either me or Balder. Oh god, I'm talking to future me. That's so weird. Would you load, please? At least I got the loading screen. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. That was unexpected. Okay. So yeah, this is where the elevator leads into. As you can see, sometimes you spawn in other players that haven't come to this screen yet. But I need to do a quick test because we transferred from the hangar to Arc Corp to see if motion blur is still on. Okay, it looks like motion blur is still off. And if you'll notice, there is now a helmet around my vision. This is because of the fact that in the actual Persistent Universe Alpha area that isn't just simply the social module, as it was called, I actually did some things, earned some alpha currency, and thus was able to purchase this armor. If you look out here, you'll briefly see a Freelancer. That's another ship in the game, but that's not what this video is about. So, once we're on Arc Corp, to showcase a few areas, we are going to go to a place known as Casaba Outlet. Casaba Outlet is a place where we will be able to buy clothes, and briefly in view you can see Cubby Blast as well. That's also something that I'll be covering in a later video. But for now, we're going to be going to Casaba Outlet. You'll also notice that I have my chat window up as well, so there will be things in there that I have no control over. Unless I do this and close it. But that's kind of defeats the point of having this multiplayer experience if you're just going to be a loner like this. But hey, people can be loners. Now, there's another thing that I need to address here, and that's my frame rate. Right now, because of the early stage of this game, it won't matter whether or not I am on a supercomputer or a laptop. I am currently doing this video on my laptop because of the fact that the server is the one that has the frames per second issues, not this laptop. Now, we are currently in Casaba Outlet, and I'm going to shift out of first-person mode and go into third-person mode so that you can actually see why my helmet is overlaid on the screen like this. When I say overlaid, I don't actually mean in the sense of being a 2D graphic. This helmet is actually physical to the point that eventually we're going to be able to take it off, and it will move and do all sorts of things. But now I'm going to go into third-person mode so you can see. I also have two guns on my back, which is also something that I acquired in the space area of the Persistent Universe Alpha that is not the planetside location. So, if you look here, you can see in the front that the area that I was obstructed with is because of this helmet. And now that's pretty much all I have on that front. But now I'm going to explain to you a little bit about more of what we're going to be able to do eventually in regards to just expanding upon the space elements. We'll be able to use our currency to buy clothing, which is something that if you've played Freelancer, you might remember. They have a sort of hub area which you go to purchase ships as well as other things. I'm not that familiar with Freelancer. So when I go over to this here, it essentially displays a price in the alpha currency that we have right now. And you can try it on by pressing the F button, I think? I don't remember. Yes, okay. So the shoes are the red ones, and if you'll notice, they also disappeared from the rack that I was trying them on with. And I'm rotating my mouse right now, which moves the character around in what is known as the try-on camera. And to put it back, I simply push F again, and it reappears there. Not gonna spend too... Ooh! This guy has that awesome black and gold spacesuit. Sorry, ADD moment there. But yeah. I'm not gonna spend too much time on the clothing because I'm gonna get more back to the space aspects of it. So where I'm going to be headed is an area known as Astro Armada, which is essentially a ship shop for this particular area. We'll eventually be able to buy ships in this game with the currency in-game. Right now, we only quote-unquote buy ships to support the development of the game because it is essentially going to be a massive multiplayer universe Not an MMO, but it will be a massive multiplayer universe. And so we need to be able to, both of us, but mainly they need to be able to sustain all of these people, as well as pay the people that are actually making the game. I'm sure you can understand. Oh, of course that player is just jumping up and down randomly. Now, this is something interesting here. This is a ship known as the Drake Caterpillar. It's actually being worked on right now and looks quite amazing because it's one of the later ships that they've been working on. This is an M50. Sorry, this is not an M50. That was a derp moment. You'll see an M50 soon. This is an Origin ship, which the M50 is. This is the Origin 890 Jump. It's sort of like a giant space yacht. It's not currently in the game, nor is it in active development. It is currently in the concepting stage. It is going to be a thing that they work on a lot later in the game. So, there's the 890 Jump again. This is the Astro Armada logo. And over here is the M50. This is the M50 that I flubbed up about earlier. And if we keep going over here, down there is the M50, which we're going to be headed for. And also, we're going to eventually be able to sit down on places because that's mandatory, you know? I do like how the catwalk is got glass under it so that you can see above and below. Now we're going down to the M50. I'm just gonna sit here for a short bit so you can see it on the rotary. I might actually rent an M50 so that I can actually show you how it flies. But at this point, it's also good to see it here because it showcases sort of the environment in which we're going to be having for ship dealerships in the future. This is an Astro Armada NPC. They obviously have named it Astro Armada Clerk. And this screen is, I imagine, where advertisements for other companies are going to be displayed. This over here is a very, very early concept image of the Bengal Carrier, which is a ship by Robert Space Industries, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have that information on hand right now. But that is a 1 kilometer long ship. It increased in size to 1.1 kilometers about a year or so ago. And here is another poster of the Caterpillar. Well, I don't know if I would be able to consider that a poster. So, that's about all I have on the planetside aspect. For this particular aspect, anyway, in regards to clothing and ships. There is also a first-person shooter aspect to this game because this game heavily focuses on first-person, and you will be able to do things like board other people's ships. I'll explain that more a little bit as well. And with the first-person aspect, you have to be able to defend yourself. So that's why there's a gun shop. Now, in regards to boarding, there will be breaching mechanics, as well as just simply, I guess, the equivalent of carjacking somebody via simply... No, that's not the... No, forget I said that example. But you will be able to sort of like hack into other people's locks, because this is an area that has a lot of electronic things. An aspect that has a lot of electronic things. And ships right now are free-for-all after 8 minutes, or after you've left the area of Port Alisar, which is also showcased in an earlier video, but I will go in depth on that very, very soon. So Port Olisar has a free-for-all in ships, essentially right now, but we're going to have locking mechanics. And I think that's about all I have on this video. I am currently headed back to Casaba Outlet. And I think that should just about close it off. We'll go back to the elevator in which I started, if I can find it. I don't exactly remember my way around here right now, because I was focused a little bit more than I normally am. So, yeah. Actually, no. We're just gonna stop it outside of Casaba. We're just gonna stop it outside of Casaba. Turn around, and... Z. No. Z. F4. Oh, mouse. And I will see you in the next video.